Good evening and welcome to the Build With Baer Workshop. It's time to build a model kit. I'm throwing the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe emote in chat. If you're currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. If you're not a subscriber, you can say hi. I want to give a shout out to Smashpad, who is raiding. Thank you very much for the raid. Appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. And welcome to everybody that's here. This is the intro portion of the stream. If you've never been to a Build With Baer Workshop stream before, here's the deal. I build model kits and Lego sets. We've got Lashbrook here. We've got Dustin here. We've got Aristophan here. Chef is saying hello. Lord Crashington says, hey, that was me raiding, just to let you know. Well, thank you, Lord Crashington, for the raid. And Ro is here. Welcome, Rosef. Welcome, everyone, to the old Build With Baer Workshop. What's the deal tonight? Tonight, we are particularly working on a new kit. We are starting new. Harold's here throwing in the emotes. Thank you, Harold. Appreciate that. We got ourselves a new kit to work on. Jam is here. Welcome, Jam. Bunch of friends here. That's awesome. We're working on the Ultimate Gear Millennium Puzzle. Oh, Harold throwing in some bits. Thank you for the 15 bits. This is the Ultimate Gear. Ultimate Gear is going to be a new line of, like, I don't know what. Oh, and also, Dustin just subscribed with Prime. That's 9 months, so we can throw the Bear Cave Lego Set emote in and thank Harold for the bits and also Dustin for renewing their sub. Thank you very much for that. So, Ultimate Gear, they haven't really said what this line is necessarily going to be, but I think it's for, like, non-robot, but also non-people model kits. I'm not 100% sure. Anyway, the Millennium Puzzle box came here, and it's good. This is a good big box. Lots of good art on this thing, and it makes things very clear on the box. So it's important to say, the most challenging 3D puzzle of the millennium, which I appreciate. It's basically a prop line. Lashbrook, that makes sense. You remove the pieces from the runners, you assemble the pieces using the included instructions, and then you solve the puzzle. For folks that know the source material, the manga or the anime, you know that Yugi was given a puzzle that his grandfather had not been able to solve, and he solved that puzzle, and he awakened the spirit of Atom, the pharaoh. Now, we know from years of Yu-Gi-Oh, the original series particularly, that Atom played a game very similar to Duel Monsters, although it wasn't a game. And it has been crafted due to the 7 Millennium items became a game that people played in the modern era, Duel Monsters. And that allowed basically reincarnations of that era to compete vis-a-vis. And then, of course, there's various souls of the dead just hanging out, doing their thing. Lots of stuff happened. Also, if you know Season 0, Up and Atom, indeed, Atom is meta backwards. And Yugi is Japanese for game. And Yami, the name they call him, is Dark, is the name for dark. So Yami Yugi is Dark Game, which makes a lot of sense when you know about Season 0. Season 0 of the anime, aka the original manga adaptation of Yu-Gi-Oh! When it was not about Duel Monsters, when it was about a variety of games, mostly death games involving Yugi getting in some hijinks, and then Yami showing up, possessing the boy, and then putting out some twisted judgments. And then there was a manga chapter about Duel Monsters, and then people were like, what if this was the show and the focus? What if it was about this card game that we could license to Konami and make a ton of money? How about you fucking do that instead of this monster of the week and have to think of up a dozen games? You could just do this and make oodles of cash. And that's what happened. We're talking season 1. Yes, we are. We're talking the origins of Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! Has created the meta, and that Facebook is now obsessed with it. Indeed. I sure love that pre-game period. Totally. Love the original Yu-Gi-Oh manga that was more of an adventure manga. Yeah. It even has, because we get a little flashbacks of that later, but like it's got the classic adventuring shonen storyline of Jonosuke, aka Joey, was a bully and got straightened out by like Yugi's heart and Yami's darkness. And it's like, oh yeah, you don't really remember that. He's just like one of the buds later, but he's like, uh, in many ways, Yusuke is a combination of Krillin and Yamcha. And that like he was strong at one point, and every once in a while he's very strong, and you're like, oh yeah, Joey, you're strong. But he's like never like the main character in a story that where it feels like he is created. Joey Wheeler, Jonosuke, does feel like the main character in a story. And then Yugi would be the surprise main character. But that's not the case. Yugi's the main character of his own story the whole time. Anyway, I probably have more to say about Yu-Gi-Oh! As it goes. I will say, I watched some of GX, so I know some things about GX. I don't know anything about 5D, except it's got motorcycles, and I don't know why it does. And then there's a one after that, and I don't know anything about that either. There's definitely another one as well that I don't know anything about. Um, they should re-release those early volumes. So yeah, I believe that the show when they tried to do Shonen Jump America and they just did like a best of, that they did the early Yu-Gi-Oh in that. I want to say. Um, uh, I actually bought my first model kit. I haven't had the guts to attempt to build it yet. Well, I believe in you. Model kits are tough. You take your time with it. It's fun, though, because you get to take a bunch of stuff and then assemble a thing, and then you have a physical object that you made sure existed. Because if you hadn't built it, it would just be an unfinished kit sitting in a box. And it's kind of cool. You can read all of it on Shonen Jump. Oh, I believe so. Yeah. The Shonen Jump app, I believe, has all of that. And if you want to, subscribe to that. Anyway, I got to retweet my tweet that it's time to build a model kit. Look, that's the third time I've said that, and it hasn't grown old for me. It might be old for you. Also, shout out to Drawfee, the YouTube series Drawfee, for doing a Yu-Gi-Oh episode that released today that clearly had nothing to do with me, but did make me feel happy. One of the members is big on Yu-Gi-Oh. Okay, so we'll get into this. Rock Band EXE, hell yeah. Rock Band EXE is a great look. Rock Band EXE or Mega Man EXE, if you prefer. That's a fun show. Good vibes. We can tell you're excited to do this kit. Yes, I am excited to do this kit. We'll go to the overhead. I've been waiting for this dang thing. Puzzle. So this kit, first off, I do want to say, because somebody asked me about this. This is in the box. This is in the box here. It's an advertisement for the Gold Sarcophagus model kit. This is a model kit that you build to store the Millennium Puzzle pieces, which you may remember from the show is what they were contained in. Now, I did at one point think, am I going to pre-order this? And then I realized it's $40, and no thank you. That's too much money for what is a box that won't even have anything in it, because once I build the puzzle, I'm not going to disassemble the puzzle. I'd have to buy another puzzle to put in there. That's not happening. Also, there's an ad for, supposedly in August 2021, they were going to release this Demon Slayer model kit, and I don't believe that happened. It's possible it did, and it slipped by me, but I'm assuming it didn't. Also, this kit was supposed to come out last year at one point. They were thinking it was coming out in 2020 because it has the date of 2020 on it. Also, that stuff is in Target. Yes. That's why you buy two. Yeah. So this is the gold that Goku and Demon Slayer kits are selling in Target. Oh, okay, so that's why I don't know it's there. It's because it's in Target. I don't pay attention to Target. I should. But I have built those entry grade Goku and Vegeta, and they're fine. I think the Figure Rise kits are better for not much more money, but I have not seen the Demon Slayer, and I will have to pick that up because that boy's fun. Anyway, these are all ABS. They are all, a couple of them fell off the runners. This piece did not fall off the runner. I just took it off the runner because I wanted to take a photo with it over my eye, like I'm some sort of, you know, like it's the Millennium Eye, and I'm some sort of tune loving weird archaeologist painter, uh, card game designer. A lot of weird shit in Yu-Gi-Oh. But yeah, there's a piece there. So a couple pieces fell off runners. This should be fine. We're gonna assemble. I'll probably do some panel lining once we assemble it. And if you're asking, Pat, once you get all the pieces together and you try to solve the puzzle, which I should mention does not involve the instructions, are you going to put in the eyepiece last? The answer is of course. Of course I am. The instructions are fun. The piece list is right here, so you can see each instruction is in an individual piece. That's going to be... This is very shiny, so I'm going to turn off my overhead light. So I apologize for that. But this is the best way to show this, because my ring light is not truly your maniculture. Well, I try. So you see, we have 33 pieces here, so each piece we are going to be assembling. Some of them will require multiple components. Some will assemble that we'll have to put together. Some not too many. And then once we get them all together, we will attempt to solve the puzzle. Again, this is a pretty cool little booklet. Lots of good art in here. Of course, your instructions of like, hey, how do you do this? Like, in case this is your first model kit, I always appreciate that. But the art direction of this is nice. You would hope that it was designed in a way that the eye is put in last. I would have thought. I like the vowel. Okay. Once again, I'm going to put the light back on, so we'll just go like that because that's very jarring. And I should have done that when I turned the light off. Anyway, pay attention to sharp parts. Be careful when handling. You're right. Okay. So let's get our first piece together. Let's assemble our first piece. Well, so the thing about it being a puzzle is like, I mean, we're going to get the pieces, like, it's still going to be a thing we have to solve. And some people were like, of course like, I had a few people say, like, when I talked about how, like, the instructions don't include, like, how to put the puzzle together, they're like, well, it's a puzzle. Of course it wouldn't. And, like, that's puzzle logic. But we're talking about Bandai releasing a model kit logic. And you have to look at that as, like, it's actually, like, it must have been an argument. It must have been, like, a heated debate if they were going to include, like, a page that would tell you how to solve the puzzle. Like, that, it's, like, surprising that that is not part of this. Like, it's awesome that it's not part of this. But it is a little surprising because, like, this could be a challenge. It could be, looking at this, we could be like, I don't know how this works. I know what the shape is, but I don't know how to get the shape that I want. So this could be a frustrating endeavor. I don't know. But I appreciate it very much that we're not just like building an upside down pyramid. We're building the pieces for the pyramid. I think that's great. Tony says, so you make it, you get a Pharaoh soul, or is that sold separately? As far as I know, that's sold separately. But also, it sees like we won't have to go to the Shadow Realm, aka Death, because that would be rude if I got sent to the Shadow Realm just for trying to assemble a piece, a puzzle. Okay, so we got piece one. It's going to go into that, and this is going to be our first component here. Does it only give you the instructions on how to put individual parts together, but not the overall thing? Yes, Lord Crashington, that is indeed correct. We are learning how to assemble the 33 pieces that we will then put together to build our puzzle and build our pyramid. So basically, this is, we have now built, when I finish this here, this is piece one. Okay, no, so I have to do this first. That locked into place like that, okay. And then this has to lock into this. And once that's in, there it is. Okay, so this is piece 1 of 33. And when all is said and done, or maybe this is going in wrong. I don't know why. I'm actually, yeah. Once I have gotten this part, we'll move on to the next part, and then we'll have 33 pieces, and then we will build Lego. Yeah, like we'll basically like building our own puzzle. Although for some reason, I'm having trouble. Literally the very first piece. This doesn't want to lock into place. There it is. It's in now. Okay. I'll just have to be wary of that. But yeah, no, that doesn't seem to want to slide together right. This will be the top here. Is it like that? No, it can't be like that. It's got to be like this. No, well, when I look at that, okay, this is like this. This is like this, and then slides in, but it doesn't lock into place. Okay, well, we'll move on from there. That's piece 1. We're going to build 33 of them. So we can move on to step 2, because I believe that was 33, right? Let me double check. 24, 28, 33. Yeah, the eye is the last piece that we'll assemble. Yeah, and now it's like you gathered all the pieces. Now try to complete the puzzle. Just rad. All right, yeah, so now we'll move on to piece number 2, A4 and A5. We're starting with the A's and just going through all the A's, which is fun. I don't know if that's going to be... Yeah, it looks like we're just going to go sheet by sheet and just to start assembling all our puzzle pieces, which is cool. Let's see. Thanks everybody who is here tonight. Appreciate it. I've been looking forward to this kit. It was delayed worldwide due to ongoing plastic issues and shipping issues and, you know, the pandemic and all the things that are associated with that. So that was very frustrating for folks like myself who, as soon as this was announced, it was like, is this going to be for fucking sale? Is this going to be like a Japan only thing? Is this going to be a premium Bandai? I can only assume Maximilian Pegasus has it. Yeah, Millennium Puzzle left Houston Tuesday, says Lashbrook, but has yet to make it here to Austin, like a 4-hour drive away at most. That's very frustrating. Also, as many people know, shipping notifications mean nothing. I got the notification that this package, the package that this was contained in, like left the facility in Florida, and then just nothing, and then it arrived, and then I got a notification that it had arrived, and it was like, okay, another puzzle piece assembled. I'll put that over there. I'm gonna try to keep these like in number order, but that doesn't really matter. I don't think, but I'll try to assemble them in number order and put them aside. It looks like most of these are going to be 2 to 3 pieces, which makes sense for this style of kit. But yeah, I've been looking forward to this for quite some time. Speaking of kits that we're hoping can be available for pre-order or purchase, Gundam Base, which is the like Gundam stores that are in Japan and South Korea, and I believe that's it. They're getting a high grade Death Scythe, based on the 2020 high grade Death Scythe, but it's going to be a clear kit. And my hope is that Premium Bandai picks it up for here in the US, but I don't know. I do have a couple friends who still live in Japan, and I've never pulled the trigger on the please can you go buy this and mail it to me. But I would probably have to do that for a Death Scythe, a clear Death Scythe, because the import fees would be very high. So getting it through a friend would be probably the way to go. I almost did that for the 711 RX782, which was in the the purple, the green 711 colors, because that is fabulous looking. And I was like, what if I got that? And I ended up not doing that, and it was probably for the best because I don't really need it as much as I need other things. But you know, we build Death Scythes on this stream, so If there's a chance for me to get a Death Scythe, I'm going to get one. Also, it'll probably be in the Gundam base for a while, so it's not like I'm going to be dealing with a time commitment that I'm like, oh no, am I going to actually get this thing? So hopefully I will. Gundam base stuff has been on the US pre-beta recently, so you should be fine as long as you keep an eye out for the drop. Totally. And I do have notifications for some Instagram feeds and some Twitter feeds around times when it looks like things are going to drop. So when they start advertising the premium Bandai stuff, when Bluefin starts doing that, I get notifications because I stream model kit building, so it's not that I have a problem. I don't have a problem because it is work related. I have a minor problem. You know, I still resist it. I did not buy that beautiful Tall Geese 3 with the incredible wings. I did not buy that because that was like $80 without shipping, but before shipping. And I was like, I cannot do that. I could not do that. I do really want that beautiful Tall Geese 3. It's unbelievably gorgeous. The next time it's for sale, I'll probably end up getting it. You know what's going to happen is I'm going to be at a convention and I'm going to see it and I'm going to spend whatever money it costs to get. But I had just bought a bunch of kits when that became available and I was like, can't do it. Can't do it. I was able to resist all of the like F91s that were out there because I'm just like, I don't really care about the F91. Never have. I've built one of them. I think that's enough. I don't need a variant of those. You suggest a decent master grade for someone who's never built a master grade. I mean, modern master grades are going to be great for you. I would say, Said the diet means, I'm trying to think. There have been some really good ones pretty recently. The Dynamines, is that how you pronounce it? Dynamine MG? I'm going to look up. Yes. I'll put a link into chat for the Amazon link, but obviously look for other places. Also, it's very expensive right now, so look for other places because it was a great master grade from not too long ago. That Barbatos, that Barbatos was really good, but I always say a word of warning when you build like a Barbatos or another kit from Iron-Blooded Orphans is that the hunched over part of the kit, because they're demonic, not humanoid, can be tough for people. But the Barbatos is beautiful. So I just put a link in the chat for the Dynamies because it's a really fun kit. It's a very tall kit because it's a tall kit sniper kit with cool accessories. We did get. Hey, we haven't had a random bullshit garbage person come in here to try to sell stuff in quite some time. So we'll go ahead and ban that account. It's been a while since I had to ban some garbage. Let's see. Really, Juliana brings up an excellent point, which is get a kit for a model you like. If it's a show you like I always said, your entry point should be the shows that you like. Well, if you like all the Gundams, you like all the Gundams. I hear you. You love the 00 series. I do as well. I think the 00 series has excellent model kits. Dynamese was a really fun kit to build. The most recent Master Grade Barbatos, as mentioned, was also really fun. I don't remember it being tricky except for the chest because of the hunched over nature of those Gundams. That can be sometimes weird because it's like one of the things where like this doesn't look like it should bend this way and it should bend that way. Those are often odd. But yeah, the advice I used to give people was if you want to get into model kit building and you liked Gundam in the past or in the present, you build something from a show you like because then you have the fun of like, oh, I got to make the Barbatos Lupus Rex. I'm so excited. Or like, Oh, I made the Turn A Gundam. I made the White Doll. This is so cool. Like you get that kind of thrill. And then you once you run out of kits you really like because you like the model, then you just start building things you think looks cool. You're like, I don't know anything about Gundam Build Divers Re-Rise, but I do know that that's a badass looking mobile suit. That's a Gundam that also looks like it somehow belongs in like that also looks like Char would pilot if you pilot a Gundam. I'm going to build that thing. It's pretty fun. I typically stick to 144, says Juliana, but the MG Zaku 2.0 was really good and maybe still my favorite. That is a good Zaku. What do you expect a decent price for a master grade? Seeing prices all over the place. So, prices are bad right now. Supply is down, and a thing that happened in 2020 as a well, one, obviously, the pandemic made that shipping was bad. International shipping took a nosedive. Everyone got behind on sending things out. There were delays because closings and all that. But also, people got free time at home because it turns out that when you don't have to commute to work, um, you you have some free time on your hands and you're also stuck inside. And what ends up happening to some people where they were like, I'm going to get into Gunpla. Uh, and so the prices went up because interest went up. And then demand was high, and then supply was low. And it hasn't really evened out yet. So a master grade can run you anywhere from like $44 that you got at a store because you went to a hobby shop and they're still pricing them like they were 2 years ago, or $80 because it's on Amazon and there are four of them and they sell at $80, so they go for $80 now. Um, uh, my first model kit was Rockman X Force Armor Rising. Looked pretty cool. The Rockman X Force stuff is cool. You're not wrong. I built two real grades and the Gundam Unicorn. Hey, yeah, I mean, look, here's the thing. People really love the Gundam Unicorn. It's the hotness. Um, I think I'm done building unicorns and banshees. I think I'm yeah, I do think I'm done doing that. Um, they're really cool, but they're a lot of goddamn work. There's just so many layers to them and like colored pieces to slide and come alive. Um, and they look awesome, but I don't know if I have time for that. Like Lashbrook put together a perfect grade recently, and that just looked like a nightmare. Um, the RG Unicorn almost, yeah, I've never built that. I also don't love real grades. I have a real grade over here of the High New because it looks incredible. And Gundam Planet had them in stock and they were going fast, and I am weak-willed sometimes. So I did buy that. But I traditionally don't love real grades because they're just a lot of details. And the real grade Unicorn is gotta be a lot of work. That's gotta be a lot of stress. And I don't need that. I got enough stress. I put together a lot of that own stress on my own. I don't need it from a model kit. I think I'm okay. There was definitely some pain points with the PG, but overall I liked it a lot. I'm sure. I mean, perfect grades are enough of like an investment of your time and energy that add, unicorn, that's not much more, but like, I don't know. I've done high grades and master grades of those, and I just think I'm maybe done. The Unicorn EXE, which we used to call SDs and we don't anymore, which I think is for the best because I think SD stands for, a term that is not awesome. So calling it the EX models, or not EXE, the EX models. I built a Unicorn EX, and that took longer than some high grades. And I was just like, I don't know if I need this in my life. I don't know if I like this kit enough. Um, I love the Hainu so much. The Hainu is so beautiful looking. I'm so psyched that I have this, even if it is a real grade, which I don't love building on stream. It's still a beautiful looking kit, and I'm very excited that I have the chance to build it. Um, There were definitely some. Oh, yeah, you said the paint points. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, the unicorn is cool. It's just not. I don't know if it's worth it. I don't know if it's worth the headaches. Look, if I was someone that built model kits in my free time as just like, hey, it's a Tuesday evening, I'm going to build a model kit, then real grades wouldn't bother me too much. But as someone who likes to stream model kit building, and that's the only time I build model kits, uh, no, I don't need that. I just don't need that in my life. Okay, so I know that this piece goes into here, but does it slide in? A couple of these components are, I'm going to say, frustrating, and I don't know why. It's one of those things where I'm like, is there a trick to this piece, or is it just weird? So we'll see. Oh, I got it. Okay. I bit more than I could chew. I was new to Gunpla. Yeah, I mean, when people say like, "Hey, I don't have any model kit building experience. Where do I start?" I used to say, build a high grade of your favorite kit or a kit that interests you, right? Um, that used to be my thing. Now I say, build the RX-782 entry grade. Find it. It might be overpriced because it's not super available. It might be hard to track down, but find it and build that. The RX-782 entry grade is the beginner's mobile suit model kit, I should say, and then you buy high grades of stuff you like. And then you can start with real grades if you really want to go for that. You can start with master grades. You can build the RE100 kits, which sometimes are really easy and fun, and sometimes are complicated and weird. You can build which I think are great, the Iron-Blooded Orphans. Oh, whoa. What happened? What happened to the word? What are the Iron-Blooded Orphans? The full mechanics. I don't know why full mechanics came out of my brain, but it did. The new full mechanics is different from those full mechanics. The new full mechanics is the new RE100 line, which is confusing. It's weird that they took that name and are now using it for something else. And also, some of the Iron-Blooded Orphans 100 scale kits that were not master grades but weren't high grades, later they decided those are full mechanics, but they weren't called full mechanics. They were just non-grades. All of it is weird. I built the 40th anniversary one. It was a Target. Also the 40th Zaku. I just finished last week. Ooh, that's a beautiful Zaku. That's a great one. Quality stuff. I mean, I've built so many Zakus on this very stream. It's ridiculous how many Zakus I've built on this channel. Zakus and Zaku 2s and variants of those. Some of that have been incredible. Some of some of the RE100s, some of the master grades. Some that are just like fine. They were just like, the Zaku Warrior and the FS, which is really fun. That weird green one, like the dark green one. They're a lot of them are green. Of course, the Char Zaku 2 perfect grade, which was a blast to put together and frightening because it's a perfect grade. All right. And another piece assembled. We're getting them together. We're getting these pieces together here. We have done all of A. All of A has been assembled into their components. So we can move on to B. I'll break that up later. Put that back in the bag here. I like to break down my spruces for recycling or for disposal. All right, we're now into B. We'll get into B. I wanted to briefly talk about the world of professional wrestling, but I'm not going to talk about it too much. One, because some people do not care, and I understand that and respect it. And two, it is a bummer because we are going to be talking about the releases the WWE announced today after they had an earnings call about how they have unexpectedly made a bunch of money this year. And then hours later made a bunch of releases and said it was budgetary reasons, which it certainly could be, because, making profits doesn't necessarily mean that you don't want to cut corners and lower your budget. especially if you are perhaps, if the rumors are to be believed, looking to sell your company one day and trying to make the numbers look even more inflated and beautiful. As always, releases are a bummer because hardworking people suddenly have 30 to 90 days, depending on their contract, to find other work. And it is a tough business. The indie scene is going to be flush with talent because very recently Ring of Honor just ended all its contracts with people as well, which puts a lot more people suddenly looking for employment as well, and those become competitors, and it becomes a rough time for people. Some of the people released are probably a blessing because they haven't really done much, like Grand Metalik, Lindsay Dorado, folks that have not done a whole lot in the company. Some younger talent coming through that makes a lot of sense. And then there's some former champions that have been released, one of whom was going through a name change and a gimmick change and was being closely worked with by the owner of the company. And you're just like, what's happening right now? How are you going to release Keith Lee? How are you going to release Keith Lee? That man is money. He is built. He is a monster. He is huge, a huge gentleman that can move in the ring and can talk on the mic and is a beautiful man. Make no mistake, that man's smile is devastating. He is a cocksure heel that you believe. He is a credible champion and a monster babyface just waiting. Like, he's one of those baby faces that like beats up the bad guys and you're just like, yeah, good. Do that. Keep going. Beat that bad person up more. Unbelievable talent. Just incredible. Bask in his glory. Have a good night, Harold. Thanks for coming by. As always, my friend. I'll talk to you soon. Unbelievable that they have let Keith Lee go. Ember Moon, another talent that is just like gonna get snatched up by somebody who was just incredible. Just a fantastic performer. Has gone through some health scares, but I don't know how you don't make her work in any place. So expect to see the independent wrestler Athena, which was the name she was using, pop up somewhere. But yeah, just unbelievable. Keith Lee is such a surprise. There are some names in there that I'm like, yeah, all right. Orny Loken. I can't say the guy's name. Oni Lorcan. Like, yeah, all right, sure. Some new people come through. A young lady that was part of Hit Row that just went from NXT to SmackDown. That was very surprising. Fab is just like, T-Fab is just like really green, but like clearly can work and was literally just on TV. Very strange. Very, very strange. Lots of stuff. Karrion Kross, I've never really liked, but people seem to like and thought that he was going to make people some money. But it's weird. It was very strange. He was brought up to then just be a nobody. It was always very weird what they did with him. I can't remember who I was listening to, but they did a poll of the top grossing wrestlers, and surprisingly, most of them were the performers who had transitioned into executive roles at the company. Yeah, I mean, like, look, it's a business. And you make money making money for other people, right? So like it's frustrating when people who are very good and talented don't get a chance to make themselves a ton of money and still make other people money. And the hope is that people who are like great wrestlers and good people can continue to work. Sucks that Jackson Riker has not been left. That guy fucking sucks. He literally sucks as a person, and he has not been released. Um, I won't deal too much into Nia Jax because I think Nia Jax gets dumped on a lot by smart wrestling fans. My opinion of Nia Jax is that she is still very green for the style of wrestling that she employs, which is the devastating, strong person who throws people smaller than her around the ring. And I think you can't be that kind of wrestler and do that kind of wrestling style if you are not a safe worker. And I think she's proven time and time again to not necessarily be a safe worker. So, uh, also, I am surprised The Rock's cousin did get released. That is a little surprising, because you thought they would, would have kept her around. But I guess even nothing is sacred. All right, keep moving on this. Yeah, it's a bummer. How long until Jan is into Gundam now that he's playing Super Robot Wars 30? So here's the thing, Lord Crashington. It is only a matter of time until, because like Jan likes cool, nerdy, weird shit. So like it is only a matter of time. I don't know. Here, the real thing is, I don't know if Super Robot Wars 30 is a gateway drug to getting into Gundam. I think it is a gateway drug to getting into weird video games. But I don't know if it's necessarily like the way in that some people might think it is. I do love that he's playing it because it is just a remarkably weird thing. Also, that it came out. I'm still not going to stream that game. I am playing it. I do think that it is a bizarre video game that I am enjoying. But right now, I don't have any interest in streaming it because there's just so much licensed shit in it that I'm very scared of dealing with the fallout of. So I am choosing not to stream that game because I'm just worried about licensing problems. Now, that being said, I am going to do a karaoke stream at some point soon, which could get me copyright strikes, but I will be deleting that VOD as soon as the stream is over, and I will not be uploading an archive of that. I mean, I might upload the archive, but I'll be deleting the VOD of that when that happens. I don't know when that's going to happen, but that is a plan. Sometime this month, I'm going to do a karaoke stream because I miss singing on stream, and I've looked for good alternatives to Twitch Sings, of which there are none. So I will just be using YouTube. I'll just be typing the names of karaoke songs into YouTube and trying to pull together a list ahead of time. When we have all those choices, it'll be interesting to see what we end up with. Hello, Words Maybe. Welcome, welcome. Julianne says, I need to pick up Super Robot Wars 30 at some point. I just don't have room for it right now. I hear you. I still haven't played Unpacking, which I know is a small game. It's a smaller game, but I just haven't had the time to play it yet. But I do want to. I have purchased Unpacking, but I just have not played it yet. I'm looking forward to it. I will say it was very interesting to read different people's perspectives on parts of that game, particularly the moving in with the boyfriend into the boyfriend's apartment part of Unpacking, and how the reactions were very different depending on who you were. Yeah, I am looking forward to. I like the demo of that a lot, so I'm looking forward to checking that out. We are now done with our 13th piece, so we are moving along here. We'll move on to our 14th piece, which is going to be more bead. Yeah, the assembly of this is coming together pretty well, so which is good. You would hope that it would come together pretty well. And then of course we have to solve the puzzle, and that'll take more effort. Let's see, other things I want to chat about. Well, Gary in Nature to subscribe to Tier 1. That's 18th month saying, assembly hype. Hype indeed. Let's throw the Bear Cave Lego, cite the mode in there, and thank Gary for for subscribing. 18 months. That fucking rules. Thank you very much for your continued support. Appreciate it very, very much. Let's see. We'll get this assemble piece here. That goes like that. Okay. Last night, played more of my Pokemon stream, which was very fun. Had a great time doing more Pokemon Fire Red randomizer. Had some new friends come in who would like to do randomizers and Nuzlocks, so that was fun. And yeah, I enjoyed that stream very much. And if you're wondering, did I clip out the moment where I talked shit about how Gloom looks like? Gloom is having a terrible day and also a great day somehow at the same time, and I get it. Yes, I did clip out that segment because I think it is funny. I have too much to play and still need to finish Metroid Dread, and SMT 5 is out next week. Yes. Finally, for the Shin Megami Tensei fans, more of that. That is not the spin-offs and other weird assorted games that you like, but you wish that other people liked Shin Megami Tensei as much as you do. And you know, that sure was a discourse today. Yeah, I mean, to me, a lot of that was really unfounded. Like, look, here's the thing, right? I understand that when you love a thing and people don't love it as much as you do, they like another thing that's similar to it, and you're like, but mine came out first. I get that. But also, to me, anyway, it always is, oh, you're checking out this new thing? Hey, when you're done with that new thing, you should check out this other thing. You might like this other thing too. Like, people that have come into Persona because Persona 5 was coming out and they were like, I keep hearing about Persona. I'm going to check out Persona 5. Ooh, I like this. Those could be Shin Megami Tensei fans. They could be. Those could be people that come in. And so instead of being like, don't say it's similar to Persona, to me anyway, the response should just be like, hey, if you like that, you should check this out. I was annoyed. Yeah, I understand. I understand being annoyed because, like I said, uh, like, you know, if you like Shin Megami Tensei, if you like Devil Summoner games, I can understand why you would be upset that people are like, hey, here are the ways that it is similar and different from Persona, a game that is sold incredibly well and people are also very passionate about. I understand. Believe me, people were also mad when everyone was talking about Fez, Persona 3, and also Persona 4 and Persona 4 Golden. But like, the real thing is, a friend of mine posted and then deleted it because it got retweeted too much and he was very nervous. But a friend of mine posted today, there's a lot of talk about these Atlas games. I just want to say, if it doesn't involve dancing all night, I want nothing to do with it. And I loved that so much because to me that was such a fun, fake, like, opinion to have. Like this, like, thing where you're just like, oh yeah, Persona 5, let me know when they're dancing. And it was just like really funny. Because it's like, well, they made one of those. For one, but two, like, I just thought that was such a funny, like, no, this is the only kind I like, is when they dance. There was like a fake MMO, well, like an MMO style Devil Summoner that I played a little bit of, and I enjoyed. I didn't get far with it. It was like, it was a massive multiplayer, but I don't know, it was like, I don't know if it was an RPG, but I played a little of that and liked it. I've liked some Shin Megami Tensei games. I'm not super into them. I think I am more into the relationship-based, connection-based Persona games. This is me. But like what you like and play what you want to play. If they're good games, that fucking rules. I mean, against all odds, in my opinion, some people who I have in very high esteem apparently love that Marvel game, the Guardians of the Galaxy game, and every trailer of that game made it very clear that I would never going to play that game. But people that I highly respect seem to have a good time with it. So, fuck yeah, that rules. I'm glad people are liking it. Uh, yeah, I hear you. Slipping back into Animal Crossing. Yeah, that update came like out of nowhere for people. All of a sudden, it was out, and like people yesterday were scrambling. We went and raided TQ because that TQ is one of my people that I enjoy who streams Animal Crossing. One of my favorites to go and check out. But yeah, people are real into this update. Also, I will say um, there is boxes of Gunpla are now like not like the actual model kits, but like fake boxes are now in Animal Crossing as decoration, and some of them are like opened boxes, and that fucking rules. Um, my favorite MST game was Tokyo Mirage Sessions. Yes, indeed. It did have a lot of dancing. I never played that, but I heard very good things. I know people who really love that. Got back in Animal Crossing as well. I liked that my residents knew the exact amount of time I was gone. Like they totally weren't harboring a grudge against me. Yeah, I mean, that's a classic. You got to have that, right? You got to have the Animal Crossing folks who are just like, hey, what happened? Where'd you go? What? It's been a long time. The weeds are all over the place. No one was taking care of anything while you weren't here. Glad you're back, but please don't do that again. C14 and C13. Here we go. In a couple of minutes, we'll take our pause for the calls. I'll talk about ways you can support the channel. Then we'll get back into assembling these pieces, and then I will talk about some manga and some anime. One anime to talk about, and 3 manga series that I've been kind of reading and checking out. Always try to keep up with some manga stuff that's coming out. And yeah, I'll talk about that in the second hour. Let me get these components together first. Gonna go like this. Yeah, and then this goes in like. Some of these parts don't have a lot of wiggle room, which is fine. But if you come in with like an angle, it's going to be messed up. So you got to come straight on, which is okay. Okay, that. All right, let's do more of this. Yeah, Unpacking. I purchased, and that's a game that I would like to play soon. I don't really have a. I'm playing Fallout 4 again. So I'm playing Fallout 4 for a mod that makes it Fallout New Vegas. I joined a Patreon specifically to get access to this unbelievably intense nonsense mod to get more features for it early. It is a mod that opens up certain areas of Fallout New Vegas done in the Fallout 4 engine. It's not complete by any means. They can't import the sounds, so everyone's got a computerized voice and it sucks. But you can walk up and down some of the strip and go into some of the buildings and talk to people and buy things and like hang out. And it's sort of the game. And because it's Fallout 4, there's settlement building in like New Nipton, which is just like a weird roadside little place. You can just go and build a settlement there if you want. And it's nonsense. And I'm taking Piper, the reporter from Boston, and teleporting to New Vegas and hanging out there. Somebody from the Institute escaped and has a long range teleporter going to New Vegas because I guess that's what, yeah, and that's the attempt to be an in canon conceit for what's going on, and that's I shouldn't be playing Fallout 4 like heavily modded weird version of Fallout 4 again, but I am, and it's great because I don't really want to load up New Vegas ever again. But I do love Fallout New Vegas. I really, I really want Microsoft to pay a studio to remake Fallout New Vegas for Game Pass. And I know they won't. I know they won't ever do that, but I really do want that. Uh, Sounds like when Fallout 3 took you to Pittsburgh from DC in a DLC. Yes. Yeah, it's a little bit of that, like, here's another area. Fallout 3 did a bunch of that. Or, like, New Vegas took you to Utah, and it took you to the Big Empty, which was, like, the weird MIT, like, desert space. Um, Yeah, like yeah, you kind of distance. The DLCs would take you to like weird zones, so it's kind of like that. Um, it I'm kind of loving it. I miss New Vegas a lot. It's still my favorite Fallout. Uh, I have only played 3 Fallout games. I've played 3 New Vegas and 4. I've never played Fallout 1 or 2, um, and I have. I mean, I I played like an hour of 76 and enough to be like, these are not the things I like. And then they put in the things I like and I never went back to it. I should maybe someday do Fallout 76 now that they have like NPCs and uh, maybe that would be something I'd be into. But I just had no interest because they took out a lot of the stuff I really liked about Fallout to make this online Fallout game, which I didn't want to play because I don't like online games like that. Um, I played Fallout 1, although one enough to wander around and die in a random fight. Yep, that sounds about right from what I know of those games. You know, I've watched. Hey, here's the thing: I've never played Fallout 1 or 2, but I've watched speed runs of them many times. I've seen many different people speed run the Fallout games. But I mean, I've seen people do all 4 in one big chunk. All right. Let's see. All right, we're done with C. We have assembled. We have no, we haven't assembled all of C. I didn't do 10. I didn't do this one. Ooh. I didn't do this one. We're almost done with C. We'll finish C and then we'll take a pause for the cause and we'll talk about ways you can support the channel and get through my ad reads and all that. I think I've hit every Fallout game so far. 1, 2, Tactics, Brotherhood, 3, 4, Shelter, and 76. Oh yeah, I played Shelter. Also, hi Dirty. I played Shelter. I forgot about that. I played Fallout Shelter. So I've played 3 New Vegas, 4, and Shelter, and then like an hour of 76. But the idea of having like the GDQ run through, I think the 5 main games was great. Yeah, I believe the run through was 1, 2, 3, New Vegas, 4, all done by Tomato Anus. That's his name. That's the speedrunning YouTube name that person has. I did watch that. Forget what his version of that was for. Did not involve anus, was for GDQ, but that is his username. And whatever. Had to say that out loud once, I guess. Let me check this thing real quick. Okay. Still waiting to see if somebody wants to hire me for a thing. As of right now, they don't. I would love them to. Still trying to get this. I'm not going to get into it because we're taking a pause for the cause. Had a job thing that I got to like several interviews about. Did not get it. The search continues. But right now we're going to talk about ways you can support the channel. Seeking to essentially just fly through New Vegas with a gun is wild. 100%. Yes. The way that New Vegas can be broken in speedrunning is beautiful and terrifying, um, and possibly nauseating. Hey, we're going to take a pause for the calls. If you're new to the stream, I'm going to talk to you for a couple minutes about ways you can support the channel. All of it is going to be optional, and none of it is stuff that I'm like, hey, you got to do this. It's stuff that it would be great if you did, but you don't have to. Just ways to support what I do here. And first and foremost, let's have everybody throw in the Bear Cave, the Lego, or if you're tier 2, the Scythe emote. Throwing in emotes is an easy way to support a show that you have become a subscriber, which is the easiest way to support what I do here. Subscribing for $5 a month using Cash Money or using your Prime Gaming token. We saw that tonight. We saw both ways tonight as people renewed their subs, which is great. If you have been gifted a sub by somebody in the community, you can convert that to a regular subscription and they won't charge you till your gift sub has concluded. Also, if you want to join the gift sub leaderboard, you could give a sub to somebody in the community. You don't have to, certainly, but it's cool. Harold also gave some bits tonight. H-Bomb gave some bits. Bits and coins, always appreciated as well. Those are the ways to support what I do here via Twitch, because I am an affiliate. So those are ways to support what I do that way. I also have a Patreon, patreon.com/PatBear. If you're watching this later on YouTube, what's up YouTube? You can find all these links in my show description below the video. But yeah, Patreon's an easy way to support what I do. The old patreon.com/PatBear. $1, $3, $5, $10 tiers, another way to support me, and I appreciate it if that's something you're interested in doing. Another way, as I mentioned, I have a YouTube, and you can subscribe to my YouTube for free, but you could also join it. I have a membership available there, $2 a month. You get my Wednesday videos on Tuesday. I do a video series called Build With Baer, Best of Build With Baer. I said it wrong. That's fun. Best of Build With Baer. And that comes out every Wednesday. Every year I pick a video series to do, and I put a new video out every Wednesday. And this is that one. And it is, I think it's pretty fun. Let's see. Subscribe to my YouTube. Yeah, you can do that. Direct donations through various means. Direct donations go into a fund where I use that money to buy model kits. Money from that fund is what bought this kit that I'm building right now. Everything I make through Patreon, through Twitch, through YouTube and AdSense and all that, and direct donations all goes to me buying model kits. So it goes back into it plus other money. So if you're wondering, like, yeah, I subscribe, but like, what do you do with that money? I buy model kits with it. I constantly buy model kits. So I got that. Oh, let's see. Amazon wish list. So I'm building this. It won a poll that my $10 patrons picked of what I was going to build next, because I got a backlog of stuff. But I also have an Amazon wish list, and if you buy something off that wish list, it jumps the queue. So I've got high grades, I've got master grades, I've got Lego sets. A bunch of Lego cars right now are on sale. They're like $16 instead of $20, so that's pretty good. And you build it, it comes to me in the mail. I build it on stream ahead of the queue. It jumps the queue, and then I build the thing you bought first because you spent money on it, so I should build it. And the only caveat to that is if I have in my possession a death scythe of some sort, I build death scythes before I build anything else. It always jumps the queue. It always gets built first because I love building death scythes. I got a couple tools and such at the bottom of that would be helpful for me to continue to do the work that I do. And the alternative to Amazon, because it's nice to have an alternative, is you could buy me a gift card to USA Gundam store. You buy a gift card, it comes, the code comes to you in your email, no physical card or anything. Then you DM me on Twitter because my DMs are open. With that code, I will use that code on USA Gundam store and buy something, and then it'll also jump the queue, and I'll make a little YouTube video about it. Let's see, those are all the ways financially to support me. You can support me for free by joining my Discord. I post build photos at the end of every stream. People post stuff they're working on. News about Gundams and model kits and other stuff. It's a nice little community. very laid back. So feel free to jump in the Discord. A couple video links for you to check out. Pat Bear's Anime Club is my ongoing video series. Every other Monday, I make a new video about something to do with the world of anime. This most recent one was shows maybe you missed from 2021 that you should watch probably instead of the current anime season. Although, like, because there are like 3 shows I like, but that's about it. It's kind of for me anyway, not the best season. Other people are enjoying it a lot. They have tons of stuff to watch, but I'm not super enjoying the season. I have like 4 shows I'm watching, which is 3 or 4, which is so small for me. So anyway, that was that video. And then Best of Build with Baer is my weekly series that I mentioned. This week's video is me. I filmed it the day before Halloween, so I'm wearing devil horns, and it's me somewhat comedically talking about how all streamers are liars. Because, had dropped some frames there. Well, we're back. All streamers are liars in that they are playing a character, even if they're playing their authentic real self, they're just playing a version of that authentic real self. And it's okay that they do that. And how sometimes people have fake British accents. Sometimes they're fucking British and they have fake British accents because they're accentuating their accent. It's weird. Side note, I did once know a girl that had such a seemingly fake Cockney British accent that people that didn't know who she were in improv scenes would be like, why is she doing that weird accent in every scene? And be like, no, that's her voice. I fully believe that person was putting on that accent, was British, but was playing it up because she thought that made her funnier, or that it covered up the fact that she was not a funny individual. But every time I think about I think about her when I think about those people who are Twitch streamers and YouTube personalities that have clearly put upon accents. Like, we know Annie News, that you do not have, that voice is put on for videos. It's fucking weird. If you ever watch the YouTube channel Annie News, it's a fun, in-depth looks at some stuff, looks at the light novels, looks at the manga of certain things, does a lot of like what the anime didn't show you videos. And it's kind of interesting, but that person is putting upon a voice, and it's weird because he did a YouTube like live stream, and all the comments were like, "Why do you sound like this? What's happening? Why do you sound different?" It was kind of fucking incredible. Anyway, we're gonna get back to building. We're gonna talk about some manga. I'm gonna keep working on this model kit. I'm gonna drink a little water. All right, we're into D. We have D and E. So we'll get some assembly started here, but we'll at least get all the pieces put together before we start trying to solve the puzzle. D1 and 2 makes sense. Okay, so I'm going to tell you about some manga here, so get ready for it. The matter regarding the female knight who came to live with me in the countryside is one such thing that we will be talking about. That is a mouthful. You're not wrong. Is it based on a light novel? I assume so. I have not checked. This is one of them reverse isekai, because you could say it's just a straight up isekai if you thought that the female knight was the main character, but she is not. The main character is this dude that used to work, he worked for a big company. He quit that company when his parents passed away so he could inherit and take over their farm. So he's like a city boy who became a farmer, lives out in the countryside. And then this blonde-haired American or British-looking lady shows up, but she speaks fluent Japanese, which is weird, and she's dressed like a cosplayer? Where did she come from? What do you mean she wants to spend the night? What's happening? And it's interesting in that it is a slice of life, and she's like stuck there, and so she like kind of like finds out what it's like to like live in modern times. Like, there's a lot of her being like, what's this vehicle? What's this place? And that, stuff that like we don't get in the typical isekai kind of thing. So she's like learning a lot and trying to figure stuff out. She gets electrocuted by a fence, like an electric fence, just like you and I, if we were out in the country and we saw a fence like that with signs saying "Don't touch this," we wouldn't. Uh, some of it is like charming, and some of it is like sad in a way that isekai often aren't, and I can appreciate that. Translation magic, yes. Also, the government response to her being there was interesting. Dirty, you're not wrong. Like that is it. There's some interesting explorations of things. I don't want to get too much into it because I do think it's worth checking out. Um, but I think a lot of it is interesting the way it approaches the like being trapped because it is going from the like magic inferior to uh, technology superior kind of thing. But a lot of isekai are like you think of like Kuma 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 Bear. She's just like, oh, I'm here. Okay. Like, oh, won't see my grandpa again. My parents don't really care about me, so I'm here. Okay, this is pretty neat. Like, there are some that are just like, what do you mean I can't go home? What are you talking about? Like, what do you mean I'm here? Uh, so sometimes they do it. Most of the time it's just like, yeah, my life sucked, and then I died, and I got reborn here. Well, not gonna let myself like live in regret while I'm here. And so this one, it was interesting. It's not my favorite. I don't think it's like great, but it's good, solidly good. All right, let's see. What other one do I want to talk to you about? Um, I'm working at the church as a priest, but I want to be cut some slack from the mutilated bodies of the heroes that keep getting sent to me. This is one of them titles that tells you one, it was a light novel, and two, the plot of it, because that is what long light novel titles are there for. They are there to entice you to read it um, by telling you what the story is. Uh, um, so yeah, I'm working at the church as a priest. It is about a priest, and if you die as a hero in this world, you are magically transported. Your body is magically transported to the nearest church, in which case a priest will resurrect you for a fee. So there's a lot of like heroes in debt in that world. People who are just like in a bad spot because of they keep dying. And it shows you like the different sorts of people. There's like the introduction of the young hero who keeps dying all the time and gruesome manners, and the priest is like, come on. And then there's the person who is like in debt and trying to get out of debt and then stoops to maybe being a villain in order to take out the priest. And then there's also the person who has lost so much money being a hero, they are now like indentured servants to the church and are basically like debt collectors. Um, I don't think it's that good. I think the premise is kind of interesting, but I think it. Um, I'll mention that before I talk about Strongest Undead Lashbrook. I appreciate that. Um, you checking in on me, and I will talk about that. I forgot I was going to talk about that today because I got that yesterday. But yeah, I'll do that in a minute. I think I'm working at a church as a priest, blah, 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 would make a fine one shot because I think the premise doesn't have legs because even if he's right, I don't like the main character and I don't care that it's frustrating that heroes don't take care of themselves because they're like, whatever, I can get resurrected. Uh, so I don't care enough like for him about his problems. This is actually tricky. I don't know why. This one's being tricky to get together. So yeah, not my favorite series. We'll talk about the last one in a second. I do want to bring up what Lashbrook brought up here, which was um, yesterday I did get my booster shot, my Pfizer booster. And Lashbrook says, I never asked, how'd your booster shot go? Mine gave me hella joint pain in that arm for 2 days. So yesterday, no problems, nothing. Band-aid on there over some hair, worried about that. Today, for several hours, had pain in my arm and that joint, around that, like the joints around it, like My shoulder was bothering me, and my elbow was bothering me. That has seemingly has gone away. Um, I will say my first 2 shots, I never had any symptoms, never felt dizzy, woozy. My arms didn't hurt. I didn't have any of that shit. So I was not expecting to have a big reaction to this one, um, but I did. Also, if you are getting your booster, which I hope you do, make sure you've had plenty of time in between that and your flu shot, because that seems to be fucking people up. Getting both seems to be really messing with some people's immune systems. I'm also not somebody that gets sick when I get the flu shot. I don't feel bad after it, but I know some people have a big reaction to that. And mostly it's not because people feel bad, it's because doctors want to know why you are feeling bad. They want data. If you had a bad reaction to the booster, or if you had a bad reaction to this year's flu shot. And it's hard to say if it's both. So that's one of the reasons why some doctors don't want you to do that. But other people will be happy to get you both in, like a CVS or a Rite Aid or a Walgreens or something. They'd be happy to you get both shots. You gotta go for the Mr. Burns defense. Yeah. I I'm fine. I'm feeling A plus A okay after that. After getting my booster. Okay, we are getting close to finishing the assembly of this, all of these things, and then we'll start trying to fucking solve the puzzle once we get all these pieces assembled. Okay, the last manga I want to talk to you about is Strongest Undead, which is a weird story. We got ourselves our protagonist, young man. He's out there trying to be a young upstart adventurer. He goes into a dungeon that he is not mentally or physically prepared for, and he dies. And you're like, oh no, our main character is dead. That sucks. And then years later, he suddenly is okay, sort of. Because he was turned into a zombie when he died, and he has been walking around as an undead for years, a very long time. We don't know the exact time, but enough time through context clues we can find out. Because he sees a train, and he's like, "What the fuck is that?" Like a magic train, because whatever. It's still a fantasy world, but he sees a train. He's just like, "What's that shit? What's happening right now? What's that?" Which I very much like. I like that he's just like, the hell is that thing? Oh, this is gonna go with that. So we'll do that second. Anyway, apparently when he died, at the same time he died, 2 dragons fought, and a dragon died over the dungeon, which made a lot of the monsters really strong because the mana is very high. And he, because of that, he killed enough other monsters that he evolved. He force evolved. He is now incredibly strong. And also like brutally strong. And he's just like, weird. Well, I better find some people and figure out how to die. Because the thing is, he's like, they don't go into it too much, but like it's very clear this dude doesn't want to be an undead. And so he's like, I'm very strong. I can tell I'm very, very strong. That's not good. I gotta find somebody really strong to like kill me because I shouldn't be like this. So he's like going through a town and trying to find people, and he's like helping people along the way. He like defeats some big monsters and just terrifies the people, which makes sense that he would terrify the people because like, what the fuck is this dude? What's this dude's deal? Also, there is a necromancer around, and he's run into like one of the necromancer's like underlings and easily defeated it. So he's like, all right, I guess I gotta find this necromancer because maybe he'll have some answers for me. So he's inadvertently like fighting the big evil in the world, which is good. Overall, I would say that it is not It's fine. I think it's fine. This last one here is apparently all of these pieces here are not all of these, but a lot of these pieces are for one puzzle piece here. So we'll make that the last one. We did make the eye, which has the back slot here, and I imagine you can put in last because it does look like that. We did do the old eye of the pyramid. So let's see. Okay, so that's that is the manga that I have been reading lately, and I'll have some other stuff that I'll be reading soon because I try to keep up with a bunch of things. I am still always actively searching for manhwa and manhwa to read. I just don't particularly care for cultivation, which is a lot of the kind of like. I mean, there's plenty of reincarnation. I mean, this is also what's getting like scanlationed or is getting official releases. But a lot of the output I'm not super into. I mean, I like solo leveling as much as the next guy, but I'm trying to find other series that I can dig into, and it's been a little hard for me to find stuff that like really hits me right, which is frustrating because I like it a lot. I want to read cool shit, but I have not found the cool shit that I want to read. Anyway, let's talk about anime. While we on this very anime stream, again, a series that is clearly a light novel series. Banished from the Hero's Party. I decided to live a quiet life in the countryside, which I watch on Funimation. This series is pretty damn cool. Again, continued issues with this series, which is a fundamental issue with this that I just have, and I don't know if I'm ever not going to have a problem with it. Let's see. So how does this connect here? This goes like this. Okay, that's how they do it. Okay. I think I'm always going to have an issue with this series that it presents itself as a romantic comedy slice of life in a fantasy setting by its opening and closing songs, but it actually is a fantasy action adventure series that has some romance in between the fucking murders and the large depressing plot. So it continues to be a weird series. I was hoping that the anime was going to like ease off on the brutality. Like the last scene of this episode was shocking when I saw it in the manga, and I was half expecting them to not put it in the anime. So I guess for completionists, it's cool that it's in there, but it's so fucking brutal that I was a little surprised that they went for it. But anyway, we'll talk about it. Red and Rit, who have an apothecary, they're going to open up shop. Red is still kind of an adventurer, but he is focusing on being an apothecary. Rit has retired from being an adventurer. She is one of only 2 B-ranked adventurers in the region. And so her retiring is apparently a big deal because the actual guild master of the area shows up, or a high-ranking guild person, not the guild master, a high-ranking guild person shows up, and he's like, hey, I want to speak to Rit. And he tries to intimidate Red, and Red's just like, yeah, she'll come out when we're open. Like, I don't care. Like, yeah, I don't care what you have to say. You can stand here and wait. Anyway, she comes out to talk to them. Meanwhile, someone from the Thieves Guild, which, hey, why is there a Thieves Guild? Anyway, he tries to bribe Red, I should say, to be like, hey, I got all this money. How about you cut all ties with her so she becomes an adventurer again? And she's like, no. First of all, the amount of money you offered me is way too small. She's worth way more than that, but like, no. And she's just like, no, I'm not doing it. I'm going to work here forever. And of course, that leads to an embarrassing situation where Rit has basically said, I'm going to, live and work with Red forever. So they're a little flirting. Also, time for Red to give Rit a bracelet, and then be like, it's a down payment. What kind of like gemstones do you like? Basically being like, I'm gonna get you a ring. We're gonna make this like the real deal. And it's like, ooh, how adorable. Um, and then that's like basically one of the last parts that's cute about this episode. Anyway, um, there's an orc that we haven't seen before. He's part of the Thieves Guild, and the thieves are like, look, Rit, part of the Adventure Guild, is what we want, because then she's controlled by somebody or a force. Her on her own is a wild card, and so this orc, who we don't know his name, but he's apparently high ranking in the Thieves Guild, is like, hey, talks to a dude, and it's just like, hey, go talk to her because you say you have some dirt on Rit. Go talk to her and convince her, bribe her, blackmail her, whatever you got to do. Take care of this problem for me. And he's like, yeah, you got this. You got it. I'm going to do this. We have we are now fully assembled all of our parts here. I am going to take a photo of all of these puzzle pieces right now because I have made all these puzzle pieces here, and then we will, for the rest of the stream, attempt to get some of this started here. Here. All right. Puzzle pieces. Hell yeah. Anyway, to fill out that part of the story, this dude Durr tries to blackmail. I guess we don't need these anymore. I can use this as a guide a little bit, but yeah. So we know this is the top of it. We know that. What do we know? This looks to be one of the two sides. My guess is, because the way it looks, that this is going to be a side here. Like this is going to be the front corner of one of it, or one of the front corners. I don't know which one. This is the front corner looking thing. This is a big part here, so this could be like the back or front bottom of one part. Yeah, we know this is the top in some form or another. This is probably an outside piece. This is also possibly an outside piece. This is another important corner here. One of the corners. Let's see if I can find all four of those. These also look similar. This is definitely the bottom. Like, obviously, this is the bottom of it. Like, we can tell that. This is maybe something. This is another corner. See if I can find the fourth corner. Anyway, he tries to bribe her because he knows that she's actually the princess, and she's like, yeah, you can tell everybody. That's fine. Like, whatever. I'm not going to be an adventurer anymore. I'm going to stay with Rit forever. Suck it. And that's the end of that. Anyway, there was a big part of this episode was a flashback with another character that clearly has feelings for Rit, or Red, but since she's the high elf and knows that she will outlive humans, she is not going to pursue that relationship, and so she is supporting Rit in it, and we get to see how goddamn strong Reedy is, who is the she is the what do you call it? The hero, and so we know how strong she is. Okay, so is this here? No, this piece looks to be the top next to this. This is the circle part here. So like this is this here. We know that, we can see that, and then this would be this part here. So these two parts go together here like this. We know that because they lock into here. This is a good starting point. So we know this, and we know that. So we can deduce However these go, these two parts here go together. How they go together, we don't know. What locks these in place, we don't know. Now, near that is going to be this. Now, do these lock in like this? Somehow? Like that? Ooh, I think they do. Hell yeah! Oh, that makes me feel great because this is something. We got this done. And again, I think this definitely goes in last because it's set to like lock in. There's nothing that locks in on it, so we don't have to worry about that. But the fact that this is like we got some of this done is awesome. Uh, that's very great to see. Um, let's see. I have that photo for reference. I also have this photo for reference. So, okay, so this goes like that. This goes like this. We know that to be true. So there is. This is going to be. There is a piece that goes here that locks in somehow to this. This either goes like this or it goes like that. We know that one of those things to be accurate. The top, but we don't know how that goes. So we don't know where that goes there. And then there's like zigzags that are going to be up and about. This side? I don't think it is. I don't know. I think this is the back one. Not sure. Not sure how these are all connected together. Anyway, there's a flashback. It's fine. The real thing is that at the end of the episode, every episode, we kind of go back to the heroes' party to see how they're fucking doing. And the answer is always not good. And this one is a flashback to when Ares, the guy that fucked around and convinced Rit to quit, or Red to quit, I should say. What ended up happening with that dude? Anyway, he's like, oh yeah, he quit and he wants to do this stuff, and I guess that's what happened. And I'll try to fill in. I can't, I haven't been your party member, but I'll try to like, replace him. The hero just fucking almost murders him, like instantly almost murders this dude within an inch of his life because she's suddenly like, you did this, you're the person behind this, and then she's like, no, I have to be the hero. And she doesn't flat out say it, but I get the sense that she's like, if I did this, Red would be pissed off. If I killed this fucking idiot. And so I don't think that she, I think so. Yeah. So basically she heals the dude, Ares. But it makes sense why that guy is so pissed off. One, because things aren't going his way. And two, his big power move to be the main support of the hero and his big play to get rid of the competition, which was Gideon, is that she almost murdered him, instantly almost murdered him, and it's like a fucking lot. It's like, whoa, it's brutal. Like I said, it was brutal in the manga, and I was like, they won't do this in the anime adaptation, will they? And the answer is yes, they will fucking show that. It's like this weird brutality. And again, it goes to the point, the opening and ending songs for this make you think that it's a slow slice of life about a guy who's like starting over, but has like a fun love affair happening and like a cute girl that's interested in him, and like, it's going to be quiet and whatever. But the reality is it's like, nah, shit's fucked. Shit is fucked. Okay, so I have this part done. It was beautiful. Well, yeah. I don't know. So Banished is still, like I said, it's a good series, but it is like it's trying very hard to be like two different kinds of shows. I don't want to say it's a bait and switch, because it is like an action series, but like the music makes you think that like it's gonna be a slow romantic comedy. So I don't know. Maybe it is a bait and switch. All right. I'm like puzzling around here with the like top pieces. I'm looking at the photo for reference because I'm like, well, if I could get like part of the top of this done, that would be helpful. Let me just like sort through all these pieces here. Puzzle. I'm no puzzle master by any stretch of the imagination. So I am, obviously flying blind here. The fact that we got anything done of this, I'm very happy with, and of course we'll have more to do in the last parts of the stream. Now's a good time to ask you folks, hey, what you watching, what you playing, what are y'all into? I like hearing from people about what they're checking out as vis-a-vis the internet, video games, and watching on YouTube and television and all that. I do like hearing from y'all about what you're checking out, so let me know. Feel free to let me know what's going on. What you watching? Oh, this is the front piece here, so I know this is the front piece, so that's something we know. I know that this fits in like that. That's good. Started in Inscription, which is pretty rad so far. Lord Cratchington, I would describe that game as rad. Yeah, I think that is a good descriptor for that game. Shit's weird and continues to be weird as hell in that game, but it's still rad. It's still rad as hell, if not weird. It just keeps getting weirder. But yeah, I would say that's a good description. Okay, so this one we know is right. This one doesn't feel right. This doesn't feel right. This doesn't feel right, but maybe it is. No, that feels more like a bottom thing, and I don't know how that's possible. Unless it's like that, and then there's a piece that goes in. Maybe that's it. Maybe it goes like this, and then another piece has to fit into it, then go around that. So if I'm looking for something like this, but on the other side, that makes sense. I've been playing the Guardians of the Galaxy game, which I have enjoyed. I did already like the franchise, so that's my bias, totally, yeah. But, there's nothing wrong with having biases like that and being like, yeah, you're already into it, so you would like more of the thing you like. Not playing anything yet, but I just got in the mail the 5 US release Phoenix Wright games, as well as the Wright Layton crossover that I got an amazing deal. Hell yeah, Lastbrook, that's cool. And Dirty says, started rereading the Wheel of Time series yet again. Also watched that Real Layers episode 1. Yeah. Shit's weird. Somebody tweeted me, and I can't tell if they didn't understand the bit or not, or if they were playing along with the bit, because as everyone knows, text is a very hard way to get across subtlety and goofs, but it's a fucking bit, and you could tell it's a bit because when they were referencing it, Danny broke and laughed, and then everybody else laughed because he broke it. It's real, REEL, layers is like it's a comedy piece that happens to be on a website essentially about video games that is more and more not about video games much anymore, which for some people fucking sucks, but for other people fucking rules. For some people it fucking kicks ass that the Giant Bomb is finally more than just video games where the podcast they just talk about whatever they want. And it hasn't been that way for a while. It has been a mismatch of a bunch of bullshit for quite some time. And I know that some people that is a bummer, but for other people it is rad as hell. And I do think I am one of those people that is just like, hell yeah, I'm glad this is this weird shit now. Even more so. I'm glad there's so much weird shit on that website and so much young weirdo energy. But yeah, I guess I knew that some people wouldn't get the bit, but like, I don't know. It always is surprising when it's somebody that I'm like, wait, I thought you understood weird shit on the internet. How are you not getting that this is weird shit on the internet? This is the shit you like. How are you not understanding that this is the shit you like? Does this piece go into this piece? Ooh, this piece might go into this piece. That's cool. Does this piece go into... It does! Okay, so these two pieces go together, and that goes around this, and this piece goes there. We've gotten these sections done. It's hard to lay these out in a 3D space, but all of this shit is right. All of this shit connects together. It's hard to show that, but we have gotten most of one side of this done, which it rules. I'm glad we did. Giant Bomb website of video games has never been more true. Yeah, question mark in that. Yes, it's not like GB has started to get away from the need to do standard video game stuff all the time. Yeah. I really thought it wasn't a bit, but this thing on Twitter where they're having the back and forth over the Twitter, over the photo of Bill Paxton at the end. So it's one of those things where, like, look, if somebody pitched a show to Giant Bomb and then we're like, actually, it's a different thing, they wouldn't, on a live stream, talk about how surprised they were that somebody, ostensibly who they signed a contract, changed their minds about what the show was. We wouldn't see that, and I know that people don't understand that sometimes people can act because you're like, no, that's Jeff Bakalar talking. Jeff Bakalar doesn't do bits. Jeff Bakalar is Jeff Bakalar. And it's like, I mean, okay, I guess if you think that every single person who is on a live stream and on a YouTube video and on a podcast is always 100% telling you the truth and is never playing a bit or a character, if that is the life, it is that of the world you think you live in, I mean, okay, it's not like that, but okay. It's just, it continues to surprise me that anyone has ever, like, could ever think that way. It's so strange to me. But people do think that, like, you know, I mean, I said, that's my Pat Bear's best of Build With Baer this week was me, you know, talking about how all streamers are liars. Dan Reichert never played a character. So here's the thing, right? As far as I can tell, Dan is not playing a character or playing up anything. Now, Dan has played dumb in certain aspects. Some of Metal Gear Scanlan, Dan is playing things up in order to get a better or interesting or different response out of Drew Scanlan. He plays the villain in Mario Party, which sometimes is just him being him, and sometimes is him playing up the character of Dan Reichert. You know, on the podcast, we are getting almost exclusively a heightened version of Dan. But yeah, I mean, you get a heightened version of everybody and everything. Look, most days that I'm streaming, I didn't come into the stream with the energy I have during the stream. It's just how I need to live. And so I have to have this energy to continue to do streaming in a way that is beneficial to myself. And also doesn't make me lose my goddamn mind. It is a necessary thing. But everyone's playing a character, and everyone's playing a version of themselves. You know, a lot of times their character is just like there are people that are wrestlers that are playing like a huge version, like a thing that's nothing like them, right? Like, all intents and purposes, all things aside, everyone says Adam Cole is the nicest person they've ever met and is just a sweetheart and a generally incredible dude. Now, he also can play complete assholes, and he's so good at playing assholes as a wrestler. Some other people are just like, I am not a character. This is me, and this is the best. This is me playing me, and this is what you get when you want me. This is what I am. This is what I do. Uh, and they don't play ever anything else other than 100% who they are. There was this weird part of Mario Party where the other guys had to tell him that it wasn't normal in their lives to just be shitty to other people you're playing games with. But that's like one of those things where it's just like, that's not like, I understand why people don't get it. I do understand why people don't get, like, when the person they know who is a real person doing a real thing, while they don't understand, like, hey, you know who doesn't love Sony as much as he let on? Shane Bettenhausen. If you listen to old one-ups, you would think that Shane Bettenhausen never played a different console in his life and loved Sony. But Shane Bettenhausen was playing the Sony guy because in that era of podcasts, they perceived themselves to that you needed to have big personalities with big, huge, annoying like feelings about games. Like it was probably a mistake, but he'll always be the Sony guy because he played a version of himself for the podcast, for the One Up podcasts. And he'll probably never be able to escape that with certain people who will always think of him as Shane Bettenhausen. Oh, that's the Sony guy. And Garrett, asks all these like really weird like questions that are kind of like him playing like devil's advocate. And it's weird how he like pokes and prods like, his other podcast people. And it's strange. Why is he like that? Well, he's like that for the podcast because he decided that is the character he was playing on the podcast. I mean, some of the times those are the things. Other times there are people who, are just themselves and there's nothing else about it to look at. There's no bright side to it. They're just like that. But yeah, most of the time people are just playing characters or playing things or playing up things. Because they're entertainers. I don't know. Some people can't wrap their heads around that, and that is weird. I think it's because there's several generations now that have grown up just watching people like with their own name, or like not with their own names, but they're just like, well, that's a person because they're on YouTube, so they're a person, and they don't, and folks can't differentiate that, and it's very weird that they can't, but they can't differentiate like what the differences are between a character and a person, and I don't know, it's strange. It's always been really strange to me. Maybe it's because I come from an acting background or an improv background. Some people are like, oh, well, like this thing, this back and forth has to be real because there's no way it could be fake. And it's just like, I mean, it totally can. You can be a character and make up stuff, and you can play a character. I mean, if you're playing a character that is just an exaggeration of you, that shit's fucking easy. It's really easy to do. Okay, so what do we know? We know this connects here. They fall apart when you do that. We know that this, these two pieces here. So this goes. How does that go? This goes like this, and this goes like this. We know this is this side. We know this is back there. We did have one that went the other side, though. Where did that go? Oh, this goes on this side, so we know that. I have gotten some stuff together. So this goes in like that. We know this goes here. We know that goes there. We've got some of this kind of built out together. So there's going to be a solid piece that slots in there at some point, which will help us get like the top. It's like, so at a certain point we can find out what goes there, because I would love to get this into place. So we can get to that at some point. That would be good. Is it this piece? It is. It's this piece. Okay, great. So this goes here. This looks like that. I know this goes here. And then this goes in like that. And this goes in like this. So I've got some of this together. I know these kind of go here. This goes here. This goes here. Then this locks in on that. So far, none of this like connects in a way that I'm like, and it's solid. Great. This is going to go in the back of this here. And then I think this is going to go in the back of this there. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I do think that's the way this is going to go. This also could be this side, like this, and this could be this side, but I don't know how that fits in. So I at least know that these are the other corners. Like I have this done. This is nowhere near enough. Like I have to get this, like, you know, build this out, but we've got something together, which is great. I don't know how these parts go together because I haven't seen the 3D of this. I imagine these are on like sides or whatever. They're just like I imagine. I don't know for sure. Sorry. I imagine. I want to say this goes like this or this goes like this. I don't think it's true, but I don't know. Feels like a cheat if that was like that, but it's not. I don't know. I think all of this is connected, and then these are like that, and I've got some idea of how these go together, and that's good. I'm going to leave all this together here, and then I'm going to put all of this together separately. We'll do that. Put this all together over here. So that's the end of this stream. We didn't make a lot of like assembly progress, but we did make a lot of putting it together. We got all the pieces together. We just don't know how they fit together yet, and we'll have to do that on Saturday. But we are going to raid. That's how streams end around here, is we go on a raid. Oops, wrong thing. Because it's always nice to go in and share the love. So we're going to find somebody out there who is streaming that we want to go hang out with, and we'll do that. Let's see, who are we going to go hang out with on stream? Well, thank you, Aristophan. Thanks for being here. Let's see, who's doing stuff that we want to go hang out with. Xandra's playing Unpacking. We're going to go raid Xandra. Xandra was hanging out with us last night. Xandra made my emotes, and she's rad. So we're going to go give her a raid, because, as I said, she is playing Unpacking, and Xandra rules. So we're going to get that raid started. So feel free to come along this raid. Xandra is absolutely awesome, so would love if you come hang out with her. Again, Saturday, 9 p.m. Eastern, we will assemble more of this puzzle. I'm going to get some more reference photos, I think, of the kit to maybe see what the sides look like, to cheat some, quote unquote. But we'll have more fun with this. Please come along on this raid. Please come back on Saturday. Thanks for being here. Thanks for talking to me in chat. Welcome new people. I hope you come back. Hit the follow button if you haven't already. Thank you to subscribers. Thank you to people that renewed. Thank you to the people that hung out and talked in chat. Thank you to people that just had me on with other things. I'll talk to you soon. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.